All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Wahar Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out here toiling in his truth. I'm Pathaka Moth GMS Dallas. I'm just coming back at you with a really quick hit lesson, and I'm going to entitle this lesson, Israel is scattered among the heathen / Gentiles. You know, Israel is scattered among the heathen / Gentiles. And I'm doing this lesson, man, just based on these Christians that think that the Gentiles spoken of in the New Testament is talking about the actual heathen nations. And they like to run to Matthew the 24th chapter to try to prove and make that point, which they're totally off when they do that, man. You know what I'm saying? Which also the scattering among the heathen / the Gentiles explains Romans the 11th chapter. You know, those grafted back into the olive tree. You know what I'm saying? Because those Gentiles / heathen are Israelites, man. You know, they're just in a Gentile state of mind. You know, acting like, being like these heathen nations. The Gentiles is actual Gentile nations, because there's two types of Gentiles. There's the actual Gentiles, which are the heathen nations, all 17 nations outside of the nation of Israel who were not given the laws, who are outside the commonwealth, outside the courts of Israel. And then you have the Israelites that scattered among these nations, among these Gentiles, these heathen, that have taken on the mindset of these Gentiles, these heathens, you know, these nations. You know, and they're acting like them, they're being like them, they're celebrating their holidays, they're eating like them, they're doing everything according to these Gentiles / heathens. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord sees them as Gentiles and heathen, but they're Israelites. You know what I'm saying? The natural Gentiles, and then the Israelites that are in that state of mind, man, that are not Gentiles, but they're acting like and being Gentiles in their mind, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's going into. You know what I'm saying? So real quick, I just want to make this, I don't want to make this too long and drawn out. It's so Israel is scattered among the heathen / Gentiles, which is going to explain these things, you know. So again, they run to Matthew. Let's get it real quick. Matthew, the 24th chapter. I know I said Matthew. Matthew, the 24th chapter. And we're going to drop down to verse 14, red letters, Yahweh Shai speaking. And it reads, Matthew 24 and 14, and this gospel of the kingdom, you know, this is why they think the kingdom is for all nations, and it's not, man. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. You know, so they run to this scripture like it's proven some point, you know, of all nations being able to take part in the kingdom, you know, take part in salvation, which is specifically and strictly for the Israelites. There's too many other scriptures that you can go to proving who salvation is for. So how you gonna go to one scripture and try to offset all the other scriptures that say Israel? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's bugged out right there. But, you know, just dealing with the topic, we're gonna prove that the Israelites, the Gentiles are Israelites. So it says, and this gospel shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And we have to do that because, first of all, Israel is scattered among these nations. But the scriptures say, real quick, let's jump over to Isaiah, the 34th chapter. And we're going to read verse 1. And it reads, well, as you can see in the heading, it says, God's wrath against nations. God's wrath against nations. So this is Isaiah 34 and 1. It says, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people, let the earth hear. That's all the world, and all that there is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. So everybody, that's the entire planet, man. As a matter of fact, let's get this in the NLT real quick. Let's read this let's parallel this and read this in the NLT. To the right of your screen, Isaiah 34 and 1, a message for the nations. Isaiah 34 and 1, come here and listen, O nations of the earth. let the world and everything in it hear my words. So we're ordered to go to the nations, man, to teach this gospel, man. All nations have to hear this. They got to hear this word, because it's going into their judgment as well as, the Israelites being scattered among these nations. So we got to go to them to tell them what's about to come of them as well, man. But we have to go to these nations because Israel has been scattered among these nations. So let me take the parallel off real quick. And it's that simple, man. It's not hard. You know what I'm saying? So Matthew 24, is not, you ain't proved nothing, man. It don't mean anything, man. It's still dealing with Israelites, man. So let's prove that real quick. Because it says, to preach to all nations. So why is that? Again, because we have to teach them their judgments, and the Lord told us to go to all nations, and because Israel is scattered into all nations. So let's prove that real quick. Which we proved that we have to go to the nations. We just read it in Isaiah 34:1, man. All nations, hey, hear this message, hear the voice of the Lord. So now let's prove that Israel is scattered among these nations. That's the other reason we have to go to these nations. So this is Leviticus chapter 26, and we're going to drop down to verse 33, and it reads, "And I will scatter you among the heathen, and I will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste." So the Lord is telling the nation of Israel that he was going to scatter us among the heathen. You know what I'm saying? And draw a sword after us, and that our land was going to become desolate, and our cities waste. You know what I'm saying? So this is one of those scriptures that prove that Israel has been scattered among the heathen, man. You know what I'm saying? Among others. So we're going to get it. Let's keep it going. Jump over to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and we're going to drop down to verse 64. Salaki. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64, and it reads, which is and the curses, man. You know what I'm saying? When you jump up, as a matter of fact, let's just do that. Let's jump up to verse 15. It says Deuteronomy 28:15. It says the consequences of disobedience, man. Which that happened, man. Israel was disobedient, and that's why these things happened to the nation of Israel. This is verse 15. It says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." And that happened, man. Israel didn't hearken to the voice of the Lord. They were disobedient, and the Lord put curses on them, man. So and then you got the various curses that fit only the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They line up perfectly with everything that's written, man. Those people in the land, they don't line up, man. It's not matching up. So let's jump down to 64 and go into that scattering. This is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 64, and it reads, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. The Lord shall scatter thee to disperse thee among all people." There's no one left out there. It says all people. That means all 17 other nations on the planet Earth. Israel is among those nations, man. It says, "From the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." And that's Jake, man. You know what I'm saying? They're in these other in these scattered lands, and they've taken upon themselves to Jake gets comfortable, assimilates into these captivities, and they become like the nations that they're among, man. It's that plain and simple. So it says even wood and stone, those two primary religious sects of these devils, man. That they established and set up by way of the Catholic Church, man. It says even wood and stone. So wood represents Christianity, and stone represents Islam, man, which is the two main religious sects that Jake is caught up in. The primary religious sects that the majority of our people are caught up and encapsulated in, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that's going into. But it says that he was going to scatter us among all people from one end of the earth unto the unto the other, man. You know what I'm saying? So we've been dispersed and scattered, among all nations, man. This is why it says in Matthew 24:14 that we have to go to the nations, man. You know what I'm saying? And preach this gospel, because Israel, who this is for, is among these nations. As a matter of fact, let me get this real quick. It's going through the spirit. What is that? It's in Matthew 10. This is Matthew 10 in verse 5. It reads, These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not. Now, if this thing is actually for the, all nations, the heathen, the Gentiles, why is Yahushua telling them not to go to the Gentiles right here? There's no contradictions in the Bible. He ain't gonna tell them to go to the Gentiles, the heathen nations, in one place, and then in another place tell them not to go. That's confusion. Which when the Lord tells you He's not the author of confusion, So that's confusion, man. Stop, bro. No, man. It's never been for the actual Gentile nations, man. And that's why He's telling them not to go to them. In this verse, verse 6, it reads, But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, because we're scattered among them. So yeah, we're gonna have to go to these nations, but we're going to the lost sheep, the Israelites, the house of Israel that's among them, that's been scattered among them. And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. There it is, man. That's who the kingdom is for. That's what Matthew 24:14 is talking about, man. Going into the kingdom, because we're scattered among these Gentiles, these heathens, these nations, man. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it going. Let's get one in Hosea 8. Salaki, man. What's wrong with my throat? This is Hosea 8:8, and it reads, Israel is swallowed up. Swallowed up of who? These nations, man. We're among these nations. We've been scattered among them. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles, the natural Gentiles, as a vessel wherein is no pleasure. Yep, because these nations hate us, man. So it ain't gonna be a pleasurable thing to be among these nations for the nation of Israel, but we're swallowed up of them, and there's nothing we could do about it. We went off, the Lord was pissed, He was angry at us, and He scattered us among these nations, man. Well, we're gonna, get it bought to us, man. We're gonna get our hat tossed, you know what I'm saying? So just another one to prove that we're scattered among these nations, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this one in Amos real quick. This is Amos chapter 9 and verse 9, and it reads, For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel, the house of Israel, among all nations, because we've been scattered, into all nations, man. So that sifting is going to be of the house of Israel among all nations. None of the actual nations are going to be a part of this sifting, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not happening, bro. Like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. That's the elect. You know what I'm saying? But it said that the actual point was in the very beginning. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. That proves that we're among these nations. Just another one of the verses that proves that Israel is among these nations, man. Now let's get let's go to the New Testament real quick, and let's get something in the New Testament, because these Christians like that. Well, that's the Old Testament. Man, it's the Bible. The Lord said He comes in the volume of the book, man. Man, these Christians are through, man. But let's get one in the New Testament. This is John chapter 7, and we're going to jump down to verse 33. This is John chapter 7 and verse 33, and it reads, Then said Yahushua unto them, red letters, Yahushua speaking now, Yet a little while am I with you, and then I go unto Him that sent me. Ye shall seek me, and shall not find me, and where I am, thither ye cannot come. Verse 35, here's the point. Then said the Jews, which are Israelites, among themselves, Whither will He go, that we shall not find Him? Will He go unto the dispersed, scattered, among the Gentiles, and teach the Gentiles? So they were asking, was he going to go among the actual natural Gentiles and teach the Israelites, the Jews that's been scattered among them? So let's prove that real quick. Let's parallel this, and we're going to read it in the NLT. This is John chapter 7 and verse 33 to the right of your screen in the NLT. It reads, "But Yahushua told them, I will be with you only a little longer, then I will return to the one who sent me," which is talking about Yahweh, his father. Verse 34, "You will search for me, but not find me, and you cannot go where I am going," because he was going back to the Father in the spirit realm, "until it's time to return." Verse 35, the Jewish leaders were puzzled by this statement. Where is he planning to go? They asked. Is he thinking of leaving the country and going to the Jews? Hello. The Jews are not the other nations. Those are Israelites. And going to the Jews in other lands? Maybe he will even teach the Greeks. So it was talking about him going to the scattered Israelites. And of course, we brought out Isaiah 34:1. Yeah, we got to teach these nations. They got judgment coming to them as well, man. So we got to teach them their judgments. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about the scattered Israelites, man. That's who this thing is actually about, man. So real quick, let me get where is it? Right here. Let's get the Apocrypha. Let's get this one in Apocrypha real quick. This is Tobit, chapter 13, and verse 3. And it reads, "Confess him before the Gentiles." Look at these demons. They're going to start shooting fire and off fireworks while I'm trying to do a lesson, man. It's been quiet out here. This is Tobit chapter 13 and verse 3. And it reads, "Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he hath scattered us among them." That's very plain, clear, and to the point, man. Tobit 13 and 3, confess him before the Gentiles, the actual natural Gentiles, the nations, ye children of Israel, because we're scattered among them, for he hath scattered us among them. There it is, man, and you'll reach the ones that's supposed to reach among these natural Gentiles. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on. So let's get one more. Let's go back and get Revelation, the 5th chapter. And we'll bring this lesson to a close. Just making a point. Israel is scattered among these nations, man. These are the Gentiles. It's Revelation chapter 5 and verse 9, and it reads. Matter of fact, let me take the parallel off. Salaki. It's Revelation chapter 5 and verse 9, and it reads, "And they sung," Salaki, I knew that was going to happen. Satan, boy. Revelations 5 and 9, "And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us," the Israelites, "to the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation," because we've been scattered among them. So he's going to redeem us out from among them, man. And there's different scriptures, Ezekiel, that goes into that. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, since I quoted Ezekiel, there's one in Ezekiel that reminds me that the Israel had planned on being like the heathen, man. What's that? Ezekiel, the 20th chapter and verse 32. Believe. It's Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 32. Salakia. "And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all, that ye say," who says? The Israelites, "we will be as the heathen, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone." So they was going to be like the heathen. They planned in their minds to be like the heathen, man. You know what I'm saying? So why would not the Lord see them as heathen? You know, as a matter of fact, let's prove that it's talking to Israel. Let's jump up. It's talking about Israel. Ezekiel 20:31. For when ye offer your gifts, when ye make your sons to pass through the fire, ye pollute yourselves with all your idols, even unto this day. So that's going on even unto this very day, right now. And shall I be inquired of by you, O house of Israel? There it is right there, the Israelites, man. As I live, said the Lord power, I will not be inquired of by you. And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all, that ye say, we will be as the heathen, as the families of the countries to serve wood and stone. And that's what the idols, man, idol worship, which Jake is doing to this very day, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it came in their minds. They wanted to be like the heathen. They said they were going to be like the heathen. So would the Lord not see them as heathen, Gentiles? Yeah, man. You acting outside of the commonwealth, you're going to be looked at by the Lord as that very thing, man. You know, so that's what's going on, man. So the Israelites are the Gentiles in the New Testament, man. You know, those are Gentiles going to be grafted back in. It's not the actual nations. Matthew 24:14 is not talking about going to the actual nations for salvation and for the kingdom, man. It's talking about going to the dispersed, the scattered, the Israelites that's been scattered among these nations, man, you know, because Israel is scattered among the heathen / Gentiles. So hopefully this was edifying to the hopeful elect. With that, giving all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Waharakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect, the house of David, the Bayath, Shal Dawadat. Shalom.